Thank you very much indeed. Hello, I'm Alexander Armstrong and welcome to Pointless, the quiz show where high scores count for nothing and obscurity counts for everything. Let's meet today's players. Welcome back, Phil and Sue. You were on the show last time. Everyone, of course, gets 2 shots at the Pointless final. This is your second chance. Remind us how you did.
Well, we think we did quite well.
You did pretty well.
We got to the head-to-head, and then we were just beaten.
You were just 2 of the closest fought points I've ever seen in that round. Oh, you was robbed.
We was robbed by a boiled egg.
You were... Don't be so rude about those contestants. Best of luck to the pair of you. I have high hopes for you going a long way again in this show. Laura and Glenda are our second pair. How do you 2 know each other?
This is my mum, and I'm her daughter.
Oh, it's a two-way street. Oh, I see. That's nice. Glenda, where have you come from?
I come from Sheringham in Norfolk.
And Laura, you're from where?
Cambridge, just outside Cambridge.
Very good indeed. What do you do, Laura?
I am a housewife and stay-at-home mum.
And how about you, Glenda?
I'm a teacher, primary school teacher.
Oh, wow, right. Very best of luck to the pair of you. And next, we welcome Steve and David. Where have you 2 come from?
Hi there, we've come from Swindon today, where we met through work 20 years ago and been mates ever since. Through pub quizzes.
Through pub quizzes?
Yeah.
20 years of quizzing?
On and off.
You're going to have to be good. You're going to have to be good. Well, very best of luck. And finally, we've got Rachel and Ryan. How do you 2 know each other?
We first met at university. We were both down in Exeter, and I was in my 4th year, and Rachel was an impressionable first year.
And you... I was about to say you took advantage of it. I don't want to cut to the chase so quickly. But were you both doing the same course?
No, not at all.
So how did you meet?
Trampolining, believe it or not. Yes,
That's fun. Did you do that a lot?
We tried, I think, would be the actual word to say, because both of us are very bad at trampolining.
Has the relationship had its ups and downs ever since?
You can answer that one.
Listen, very best of luck to the pair of you. We'll find out more about all of you throughout the show. There is just one more person to introduce, a man whose mind is an array of obscure knowledge. An array. That's what you are. He's my pointless friend. Such abject resignation. Oh, I suppose that is what I am. He's my pointless friend. He's Richard.
Hello.
I know what you are. You're not an array, you're my obscurity guard.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's good.
You should have a peaked cap from now on.
That's literally only taken you 102 shows to
Come up
think
with that one.
up. That's
literally
good,
literally just now.
Yeah,
Show
that's good.
102. I slipped that one into the top right pocket.
How are you this afternoon?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good. We've got an interesting show today, so we've only got 1 returning pair. That's Phil and Sue. Rather good last time. So the other teams have got their work cut out. But Steve and David have sort of set themselves up for a fall slightly, haven't they? With all this talk. They've been pub quiz contestants for years and years. I think everybody at home will be expecting something spectacular from you guys. Fireworks from round 1 onwards.
Is it fireworks in round 1?
It's fireworks from round 1 onwards, yeah. So round 2 and round 3 are fireworks.
Now, we've put all our questions to 100 people before the show, but this is pointless, so we are after the obscure answers that they didn't get. Now, to stay in the game with a chance to win our jackpot, all our players need to do is score as few points as they possibly can. But what everyone's trying to do, of course, is find a pointless answer, and that's an answer that none of our 100 people gave. And every time that happens, we will add £250 to the jackpot. Now, Ross and Ben won a spectacular jackpot last time, so today's jackpot starts off at £1,000. There it is. OK, let's play Pointless. Now, in the first round, each of you must give me 1 answer and you cannot confer with your partner. Whichever team has the highest score at the end of the round, obviously, will be eliminated. And do please be careful, because if anyone gives me an incorrect answer, then they will score the maximum of 100 points. OK, our first category in round 1 is Africa. Africa. Can you decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, let's find out what the question is. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many Commonwealth states in Africa as they could. Richard.
Yeah, we're looking for any country that is wholly or partly in Africa that is one of the 54 Commonwealth states. That's as of July 2010. As always, by country, we mean a member of the UN that is a sovereign state.
OK, right, Phil and Sue, you all drew lots before the show, and today you get to go first. Now, Sue, I can see you're itching to give me an answer. You good on this sort of thing?
Well, I've been to Africa, so I feel that I know a bit about it.
You've got one.
No, yeah, I've just thought of some. Yeah, it's nothing obscure or brilliant or anything like that, but it's just one that I feel is probably safe, and I'm going to say Kenya.
Kenya. OK, you're going to say Kenya. We are looking for Commonwealth states in Africa. Sue is saying Kenya. You're hoping to score as few points as possible with this. Let's see how many people said Kenya, if it is a correct answer. It's right, Sue. You're shaking your
I'm
head.
not happy with that
You're not happy with
because
that.
I don't think I think that's.
I tell you what, it's better than 100.
Okay.
Kenya, Richard.
Yeah, a safe start. It joined on gaining independence from Britain in 1963.
Now then, Glenda. So we are looking for Commonwealth states in Africa.
Yes.
I think you are the best placed person to give possibly a pointless answer to this.
I can only think of one, and I have a horrible feeling everybody at home is going to go, how stupid is that? Because I'm not even sure it's Africa. Guyana, British Guyana.
You don't teach geography, then?
Well, I only teach little children, yes.
So,
yes.
right. So you're going to say...
British Guyana.
Well, I think it sounds like a great answer, Glenda. British Guyana.
Oh, no.
Don't preempt. Oh, no! Wow, that was like when a mobile phone makes a funny noise before it rings. Glenda knew. I'm afraid that's incorrect, Glenda, and it scores you 100 points. Don't apologise. I apologise. Richard.
Yeah, apologise to the school children of Britain, maybe rather than to Alexander. You know, my mum is also a primary school teacher, and she would have got it wrong as well. Bless her. It's now Guyana, and it's in South America, just at the top of South America, Guyana.
OK, now then, David. So we are looking for Commonwealth states in Africa.
Africa isn't a strong subject for me, but I'm sure on the news there's been a story of a new country from Africa adopted as a Commonwealth country that doesn't meet the normal criteria for a Commonwealth country, and that's Rwanda.
Rwanda? Rwanda is now in the Commonwealth, you think?
Hope so.
According to a news report that you saw.
On the BBC?
On the BBC, or dreamt.
More like it.
Oh, no, it could be pointless, you see. This could be a brilliant answer. You're hoping to score as few points as possible. Let's see if Rwanda is a correct answer. And if it is, let's see how far it goes down the column. Waiting for Glenda to go, oh, no, oh, no. Right. It's right. That's a wonderful answer there, David. It's not pointless, but it scores you 3 points, which is an impressive low score. Richard?
It's a great answer, David, and you're exactly right. They joined in November 2009, Rwanda. There's some kerfuffle as to whether they should be allowed to join, but they were allowed in.
Very good. Brilliant, brilliant answer. Now then, Rachel.
That's a bit of a tough act to follow. I've been to Africa as well, which is why I stupidly went first, but again, know nothing about the Commonwealth. I don't know whether to go for a more obscure one and probably be wrong, or say something a bit more obvious. So I think I might play it safe-ish, I don't really know, and just say Nigeria.
Nigeria. You are saying Nigeria, playing it safe. You're hoping to score as few points as possible. Let's see if that is correct, and if it is, let's see how many people said Nigeria. It's right. Well done, Rachel. That's not a bad answer at all. Nigeria scores you 26 points. Richard.
Yeah, well played. Joined in 1960.
OK, we're halfway through the round, so let's take a look at the scores as they stand. Well, Laura and Glenda. British Guyana. Had British in it,
Not
surely.
my subject.
Well, there we are. I'm afraid it cost you dear, that one. You are way out in front on 100. Steve and David, on the other hand, fabulous answer from David there with Rwanda. Sue and Phil looking pretty good on 32. Rachel and Ryan looking pretty good on 26. Nice low scores. OK, we're going to come back down the line. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? OK, we are looking for Commonwealth states in Africa. OK, Ryan.
I'm struggling a little bit.
Well, Ryan, you are on 26.
Yeah.
If you can score 73 or less with this answer, you are definitely in the next round.
Trying to think of the Commonwealth Games, and I'm fairly sure that South Africa are normally there, so I'm going to go with South Africa.
South Africa. OK, there is your red line coming in. Nice high red line. Let's see if South Africa gets you below that red line. Well done. 38 said South Africa. That takes your score up to 64. Richard, South Africa.
Yeah, one of the founding members in 1931. Obviously, they weren't in the Commonwealth throughout the apartheid era. They got back in 94 after their first democratic elections. OK, so Steve, you are on 3. If you can score 96 or less with this answer, you are through to the next round. So we are looking for Commonwealth states in Africa. I think you're also nursing a brilliant answer there.
I'm thinking,
OK.
if I'm wrong with this, he's going to kill me.
OK, if you're wrong with this, you may still be through to the next round.
I've been trying to think through all of the countries with strong British interests. And the one I've got top of my mind is Ghana.
Ghana. Very good. Ghana. Here is your red line. Beautifully high. If Ghana is correct, it may get you below that red line. It will see you through to the next round. Let's see if Ghana is correct. It's right, you're through. Lovely answer, Steve. That scores you 11, takes your total up to 14. So Ghana, Richard.
Yeah, another very good answer. They joined on their independence in 1957.
I wonder if Ghana often gets confused with Guyana.
Do you think maybe they get each other's mail?
I bet they do. I bet they do. Now then, Laura. Laura, you are on 100. You are still way out ahead. You have to score as low as you possibly can. If Phil, let's say, makes a mistake and scores 100, you would still have to be scoring 31 or less. But if you can get a pointless answer, it would do nothing but help.
So I've got nothing to lose, really. So I
You've got
can't
nothing
go.
to lose.
I had a safe choice and a not
Safe choice isn't going to do
So
it
safe
for you.
choice is
Safe
gone.
choice is no longer safe.
So I have one African country which I've read books about and I quite like, and I know they speak English, and I've watched television programmes about it. And as I know not what the Commonwealth means.
You know not what the Commonwealth means.
I'm going to say Botswana.
Botswana. Very approving noises coming from the boundary. OK, Botswana, you are saying. You hope to score as few points as possible. Maybe it will be low enough if it's correct to save your bacon. Let's see. Botswana, is it correct? It's right. It's right. Let's see how far down it goes. Into the low 30s, the 20s. Wow. Brilliant answer, Laura. A brilliant answer. That scores you 8, takes your total up to 108. Richard, Botswana.
Yeah, Botswana, it's in the Commonwealth, and even better than that, it's in Africa. Right.
Great answer. Now then, Phil, you hold the balance here. You are on 32. If you can score 75 or less, you are through to the next round, and we say goodbye to Laura and Glenda. So we are looking for Commonwealth states in Africa. How good is your Commonwealth knowledge?
Not good. Well, my geography isn't good, and I'm not a sports fan, so I can't go by remembering teams that I've seen in the Commonwealth Games. So I'm just going to have to take a punt and hope this is right. I'm going to say Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe. OK, here is your red line. If you get below that red line with Zimbabwe, you're through to the next round. It has to be correct, though. That's the question. Is it correct? Oh, That's a lifeline for Laura and Glenda. Terrible news for Phil and Sue. Zimbabwe, unfortunately, is an incorrect answer, so you scored a maximum of 100 points, taking your total up to 132. Richard.
Unlucky Phil, they used to be in the Commonwealth. They were suspended in 2002 because of Robert Mugabe's election campaign. And then in 2003, that suspension, they wanted to keep it up, so Zimbabwe left.
Were there any pointless answers in that category?
There were no pointless answers, actually. There were some very, very low scorers, so let's take a look at the lowest 3 answers, see if you've got any of these. The best answer of all, which would have scored you 1 point, is Lesotho, which is completely surrounded by South Africa. Swaziland, one of the last absolute monarchies in the world, would have scored you 2. We've already had Rwanda from David, so that's a brilliant answer. Those are the best 3 answers. The worst answers, the ones that most of our 100 people gave, we've already heard all 3 of them, actually. Rachel gave us Nigeria, that was 3rd, with 26 points. Kenya, Sue gave us, that was 32. And Ryan, you gave us South Africa, and that's the biggest answer of all, 38.
OK, thanks very much, Richard. So at the end of round 1, the losing pair with the highest score, I'm afraid it's Phil and Sue.
The annoying thing is, the answer I was battling with was Botswana. Botswana is where I went to in Africa. So why didn't I know it was a Commonwealth country? That's...
Still, it's been fabulous having you on the show. I'm really sorry we have to say goodbye to you so soon, but you've been great contestants. Thanks so much for playing. Thank you. But for the remaining 3 pairs, it's now time for round 2. Now, there's only room for 2 pairs in the head-to-head, so one team is going to be leaving us at the end of this round. OK, your category for round 2 is Top of the Pops. Top of the Pops. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, and your question for round 2 concerns UK #1 albums and their artists. UK #1 albums and their artists. So in this round, we're about to show you some UK #1 albums. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to tell us which artist released them. OK, Richard.
Yeah, we're going to give you 6 #1 albums on each pass. The more obscure ones will score you the fewest points, but if you give us an incorrect answer, you'll score 100 points. And see if you can get all 6 of them at home.
Right, here is your first list of 6 albums. Rubber Soul, White Ladder, Good Girl Gone Bad, Born in the USA, Faith, Sticky Fingers. Read those one more time. Rubber Soul, White Ladder, Good Girl Gone Bad, Born in the USA, Faith, Sticky Fingers. Right, we are looking for the artists that had UK #1s with these albums. Laura.
I think.
Are you a music fan, Laura?
Yeah, but most of these strike me as being a bit older than me.
Right, I see.
So I'm going to go with Born in the USA, which I believe is by Bruce Springsteen.
You're going to say Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen. OK, well, let's see if that's correct. And if it is, let's see how many people knew that answer. It is correct. 54. 54, that scores. Gosh, it's a high score for the boss there.
It is a pretty big score, yeah. He'll be pleased with that if he's watching. Hi, Bruce, if you are watching.
Hey, Bruce.
#1 in 1985 for 4 weeks, Born in the USA.
A very good answer. Steve. So we are looking for the artists who had a UK #1 with these albums. I think once again, you say, oh, look
at that.
He knows all the answers.
The eyes of a quiz assassin. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm struggling. This is not
No, you're
my
not.
sub-
Come
Oh,
now, come
yes,
now. Look at all these.
albums are not my thing at
Do you like music, though? Do you listen to music?
I do, but...
What's your taste in music?
Well, it's the likes of R.E.M. And...
Right.
There's one up there that I think, from somewhere, and I don't know why I know it, but I think I'm going to go with Faith. But I'm not at all confident, and I'm going to say George Michael.
Faith, you're going to say George Michael. That's a bit of a shot in the dark, is it?
It is.
OK, well, let's see if it's right. And if it is, let's see how many people said Faith George Michael. It's right. 39. That earns you 39 points and a pat on the back from David. Faith, George, Michael, Richard.
Yeah, another pretty big score. It was number one in 1987, Faith. He's continued to entertain us ever since, has he not?
Hasn't he?
In various ways.
Various ways. Not all of them. In fact, hardly any of them musical.
It's true.
Right, now, Rachel, we are looking for the artists who had UK #1s with these albums.
I don't have a clue about Sticky Fingers or Good Girl Gone Bad, but I know that Rubber Soul's definitely by the Beatles, because I grew up listening to it pretty much every day from Dad.
Right.
And, well, I'm pretty certain that White Ladder's by David Gray as well. So I'm going to risk it and go for White Ladder, David Gray.
White Ladder, David Gray. Let's see if it's right, and if it is, let's see how many people knew that answer. It's right. Very, very good indeed, Rachel. That was exactly the right answer. White Ladder, David Gray. 16 points it scores you.
Yeah, very well played, Rachel. Was number one in 2001. Let's have a look at the rest of the board. As you say, Rachel, Rubber Soul is the Beatles. That would have scored you 23 points. Sticky Fingers.
Rolling Stones.
Rolling Stones, of course. More obscure than White Ladder by David Gray, Sticky Fingers by the Rolling Stones. And do you know Good Girl Gone Bad?
I do. It's Rihanna.
It is Rihanna. But Mutt would have scored you 8 points. It's the best answer on the board, so well done if you got that.
OK, we're halfway through the round, so let's take a look at those scores. Well, a pretty low-scoring round generally. Laura and Glenda, 54. Quite high, but hey, it's better than 100. It's much better than 100. Steve and David, 39. Nice sort of middling score. But Rachel, White Ladder, 16. A brilliant answer. Ryan, keep that up and you should see ourselves comfortably through to the head-to-head. OK, we're going to come back down the line. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? OK, we're going to put 6 more UK #1 albums on the board. And here they are. I Dreamed a Dream, Everything Changes, Heathen Chemistry, Blue Hawaii, Brothers in Arms, No Angel. I'll read those again. I Dreamed a Dream, Everything Changes, Heathen Chemistry, Blue Hawaii, Brothers in Arms, No Angel. And remember, we are looking for the artists that had UK #1s with these albums, and you're trying to find the one that the fewest of our 100 people knew. OK, Ryan, you are on 16. Lovely low score. If you can score 37 or less, you are definitely in the next round.
Right, just trying to... I know a couple, but it's working out. Seeing as I've got a bit of a buffer now, I might as well
You're
play
calling a bit of a buffer.
fairly safe. And, yeah, I'm fairly sure Heathen Chemistry was by Oasis.
Heathen Chemistry. Here's your red line. Let's see if Heathen Chemistry gets you below that red line. It's right. Very good indeed. That scores you 9. A brilliant answer. Ryan takes your total up to 25.
Very well done, Ryan. It was #1 in 2002, Heathen Chemistry, one of their many #1 albums.
So we are looking for the artists who had a UK #1 with these albums.
OK.
David, you are on 39. If you can score 14 or less with this answer, 14 or less, you are definitely through to the next round. What's that list looking like behind me?
There's a couple that I think would be quite high. There's one that I've never heard of. So of the others, I think Brothers in Arms is quite old now, and the group haven't done much recent time, so I think they may be a bit more less well known. So I go Brothers in Arms and Dire Straits. OK,
Dire Straits, you're saying. There is the red line. If you come below that red line, you're through to the next round for sure. Let's see if Brothers in Arms is indeed by Dire Straits. And if it is, let's see how many people knew that. Brothers in Arms. That's right. 39. That scores you exactly the same score as Steve had. Takes your total up to 78.
Yeah, Dire Straits scoring exactly the same as George Michael there. 1985, Brothers in Arms was #1, one of the biggest selling albums of all time.
Same year as Bruce Springsteen.
Same year as Born in the USA, yeah. But one of those albums, I think, that has endured, it sold millions and millions of copies over the years.
Glenda, you are on 54. You are on 54. If you can score 23 or less, 23 or less with this answer, you are through to the head-to-head, and we say goodbye to David and Steve. Think you can do it? Really? Laura thinks you can.
I should have had the last list.
Oh, really?
Yeah, gone the wrong list.
Bit of a Rihanna fan.
No. The problem with this list is I'm guessing on every single one. And Blue Hawaii, I'm guessing, could be Elvis Presley, because I've sort of got a Hawaii thing there, which is probably totally wrong. And I Dreamed a Dream, I'm guessing Susan Boyle, but I don't know if that's the one that she sang.
You're suggesting Elvis and Subo.
Yeah,
There are
yeah.
your two.
And of the two, really, Elvis should be lower if it was right, but I'm not sure it is right. So, and then I'm not sure the other one's right, but I'm going to say I Dreamed a Dream, Susan Boyle.
Put your faith in Subo. OK, here's your red line. If Susan Boyle gets you below that red line, you are through to the head-to-head. Let's see if it's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said, Susan Boyle, I dreamed a dream. It's right. Oh, no, so cruel. That scores you 29. Dear, oh dear, takes your total to 83. I said Susan Boyle, I dreamed a dream is right. I'm not sure if it is right, but it's
a correct answer.
It's a correct answer.
It is a correct answer. Glenda, if you'd said Blue Hawaii and you'd gone for Elvis Presley, because it is Elvis Presley, you'd have scored 21 points.
Oh, no.
And you'd be through to the next round. I'm so sorry.
I wasn't sure.
Exactly. You have to go with your gut.
Yeah.
And the other two there, Alexander, everything changes.
Is Take That?
It is. It's Take That Mark 1, the early days. Would have scored you 17 points. Very, very good score. And No Angel?
The wonderful Dido Armstrong.
It is Dido indeed, and would have scored you 12 points. Heathen Chemistry was the best answer on that board, Ryan, so very well done getting that.
Thanks, Richard. So at the end of round two, the losing pair with the highest score, it's Laura and Glenda. Oh dear, we haven't seen you at your best, have we?
Hopefully not.
No. I don't know what's worse, that Elvis scored fewer points than Subo. Is that a fitting legacy for the king?
Elvis?
Yeah.
Well, Subo's better than Elvis.
You will be back next time. Of that, we can be absolutely sure. And I have a hunch you will go further next time. Great shame to say goodbye to you so soon, but thanks very much for playing. Great contestants. But for the remaining two pairs, things are about to get even more exciting now as we enter the head-to-head. So well done, Rachel and Ryan, Steve and David. You've made it through to the head-to-head. Now, obviously, only one pair can make it through to the final and play for the jackpot, which currently stands at £1,000. OK, you're going to go head-to-head now on the best of 3 questions. You can now confer. That's the good news. All you have to do is score fewer points with each answer than your opposing pair, and you will win that question. The first pair to win 2 questions will go through to the final and play for the jackpot. OK, let's play Pointless. Here is your first question. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many 999 emergency services as they could. Richard.
Yeah, there are 6 emergency services that can be called out in the UK by dialing 999. We're looking for the most obscure one. And this is as of April 2010.
OK, Rachel and Ryan, because you've played best throughout the show so far, you get to go first. So we are looking for 999 emergency services.
Okay.
OK, we've got an answer.
Yeah. We're going to go for the Coast Guard.
Coast Guard.
Yeah.
Rachel and Ryan are saying Coast Guard. Steve and David.
The lifeboat.
Yeah, lifeboats. But they're the same,
That's the
aren't
same as a Coast Guard, isn't it?
they? Mine rescue?
Or mountain rescue, maybe.
Mountain rescue. I mean, that's the answer that we were thinking of. But we're thinking possibly the mountain rescue.
Mountain Rescue. OK, you're going to go for that one.
We'll go on that.
OK, Rachel and Ryan, you said Coast Guard. Let's see if that's correct, and if it is, let's see how many people said it. Coast Guard. Good luck. Ooh. A high score. 77 for Coast Guard. Steve and David have gone for Mountain Rescue. Is that a bit of a guess?
Bit of an inspired hunch.
An inspired hunch. OK, let's see if your inspired hunch is correct. And if it is, let's see if it beats the 77 that Coast Guard scored. Mountain rescue. Oh, it does. Look at that. Boy, look at that. 26. I suspect that was the best answer you could have given. So, after the first question, Steve and David are up 1-0. Richard.
It wasn't the best answer you could have given, actually. So there are 6. We all know the top 3, I suspect. And then we've got Coast Guard and Mountain Rescue. There is one other that would have beaten Mountain Rescue.
Air ambulance. No.
No, not quite. Let's take a look. And very well done at home if you said Cave Rescue, which has scored you 6 points. Mountain Rescue 26, Coast Guard 77. Then Fire 98, Ambulance 99, and that very, very rare thing we have on Point List, which is Police with 100.
Wow.
It might be only the second 100 answer we've ever had.
Wow. Now then, Steve and David, if you win this point, you are through in straight sets to the final. Rachel and Ryan, you have to win this point to stay in the game. Here's your second question. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many Happy Days characters as they could. Happy Days characters. Richard.
Yeah, we're looking for any of the 9 main characters who appeared in 100 or more episodes of Happy Days, and first names or nicknames will be accepted. But 9 characters appeared in 100 or more episodes of Happy Days.
Right you are. Steve and David, you go first this time.
The obvious, that's the only one I can think of.
Yeah, go with that.
Yeah.
Well, apart from one obvious one, the only one we can think of is Ralph.
Ralph. OK, Ralph. Rachel and Ryan, Happy Days.
Do you know anything?
No. I only know there's that ginger character who's the actor was in ER and Fame. And he had curly hair. So we could guess something like Curly or something like that might be in something like Happy Days.
Obvious one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think.
We could say the Fonz.
Didn't the Fonz call one of them Mr. H, I think? No?
I don't know. Guess whatever. Should we go with Mr. H?
Yeah, why not?
Mr. H.
Give it a go.
Mr. H.
Yeah.
OK, we have Ralph and we have Mr. H. Steve and David, Ralph is what you are saying. Let's see if it's correct. And if it is, let's see how many people said Ralph. Well, it is right. Ralph scores you 17. OK, Rachel and Ryan are going with Mr. H. Could be a brilliant inspired guess, this. Mr. H, let's see if it is right. And if it is, let's see how far down it goes. Bad luck, Rachel and Ryan. That's an incorrect answer, which means that after only 2 questions, Steve and David are through to the final. 2-0. Richard.
Yeah, it sounded good, Mr. H. Actually, there's only 2 answers that would have beaten Ralph Mouth. Let's take a look at all the answers here. Al was 7, Howard 14, Potsy and Ralph both on 17, Chachi on 23, Joni on 26. Joni Loves Chachi was a big spin-off from it as well. Marion, who was the mother, on 33. Richie Cunningham, who's Ron Howard, the film director, he would have scored you 47. And the Fonz at 97, which means only one less person knows the Fonz is in Happy Days than knows you should ring 999 for the fire brigade.
It's terrifying, isn't it?
I'd like to see the crossover of the person who knows you should ring 999 but doesn't know the Fonz is in Happy Days.
So the losing pair at the end of the head-to-head is Rachel and Ryan. Oh, dear. The 999 number, I thought Coast Guard was quite a clever one. Yeah. I was thinking that would score nice and low. 77? I didn't know that you could ring them on 999.
Neither did I.
I thought you had to ring Director Inquiries, then ring the Coast Guard when you got the number. Dear, oh dear. What have you learnt on this show? What are the tactics you're going to be bringing back?
I don't know.
Get the questions right.
Yeah.
You played brilliantly. We will see you next time when, let's hope, maybe you make it through to the final. Thanks so much for playing. Great contestants. But for Steve and David, though, it's now time for our pointless final and the chance to win £1,000. So congratulations, Steve and Dave. You've seen off all the competition and you have won our coveted pointless trophy. However, you now have the chance to win our pointless jackpot. And at the end of today's show, the jackpot stands at £1,000. Now, the rules are very simple. To win that money, all you have to do is find a pointless answer. That's an answer that no one else could think of. Now, we haven't had any pointless answers on the show today. You just need to find one now, and you will go home with that money. First, though, you've got to choose a category from these 3 options. You can go for American sport, chemistry, or international diplomacy. American sport, chemistry, or international diplomacy. What do you think?
Chemistry is a complete no-no for me.
Yeah, it's a big risk.
American sport. I know quite a bit about a couple of American sports, but nothing about a few. And international diplomacy, it's a bit of a wide subject.
I'd be probably quite, well, depending on what it is, I'd be a bit more confident on that. We're in a difficult quandary because David's probably very strong on American sport. I'd feel more comfortable with international diplomacy, I suspect. So, which one? I'll leave it to you, mate.
Shall we go, thanks. Shall we go international diplomacy? Because American sport, if it's American football, I'd be okay. But it could be American tiddlywinks or something.
Yeah,
you know.
take a chance on international diplomacy.
We're plump for international diplomacy.
International diplomacy. Very well done. OK, let's find out what the question is. What would you like it to be, the question? What sort of area?
Maybe major international treaties, something like that.
Very good. OK, so we gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many 21st century visiting heads of state as they could. Richard.
Yeah, we're looking for any head of state who has been on an official visit to the United Kingdom between January the 1st, 2000 and May 2010. So any head of state who's been on an official visit to the UK.
OK, you now have up to 1 minute to come up with 3 answers. And all you need to win that £1,000 is for just one of those answers to be pointless. Your 60 seconds start now.
Well,
I think Saudi Arabia has been a couple of years ago, hasn't it?
it's from January, you said, from January to May this year.
No, January 2000.
Sorry,
January 2000, yeah.
January 2000.
So I think
So
Saudi Arabia has.
The King Khalid
Yeah.
then. And the obvious one is George Bush. George Bush came.
Yeah, it's going to be pointless, though.
Yeah.
I think Pakistan has, isn't it? 2010.
Head of state, though. Who was the head of state? Do we need the name of the head of state or the country?
The name of the head of state.
The name of the head of state.
It's a name, I'm really struggling.
Yeah. Probably one of the royals from Europe, Queen Beatrice, something like that, from the Netherlands. Surely she's
10
been
seconds
across.
there.
They come pop over and see the royal family, don't they? They must. One of the royals from Europe must have been over.
Yeah.
So we'll go with King Khalid, Queen Beatrice, and George Bush.
OK,
Just to go.
there's your time up. So we were looking for 21st century visiting heads of state. I now need your 3 answers. What are you going to give me?
Well, the most obvious one, but it'll get one on the board, won't it? It's good. We might as well, because we don't have another one. So go with that.
Yeah.
George Bush.
OK, George Bush. Second answer?
King Khalid. Yeah. We'll go with King Khalid of Saudi
King
Arabia.
Khalid of
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. And your third answer?
Let's go with the royal from... Let's go with Queen Beatrice from the Netherlands.
Queen Beatrice from the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Now, which of those do you think is your best shot at a pointless answer?
Saudi, probably.
OK, King Khalid. So we'll put him third. Which is your least likely prospect?
Mr. Bush.
Mr. Bush. OK, so we'll put him up first. George Bush, Queen Beatrice of the Netherlands, and King Khalid of Saudi Arabia. OK, there they are. We were looking for 21st century visiting heads of state. This was your least confident answer. You only need one of these to be pointless to win that £1,000 jackpot. OK, so let's see how many people said George Bush. George Bush. Was right. This is your first shot at that £1,000 jackpot. It has to go all the way down to 0, obviously. It'd be a pointless answer. 30.
Thought it would be more.
Always quite useful to gauge what kind of 100 people we were dealing with. 30 of them knew that George Bush made a state visit during that period. Obviously, therefore, George Bush is not a pointless answer. So you only have 2 more chances to win today's jackpot. David, are you slightly more at sea in this round, or...?
Steve certainly knows more on the subject than I do, but I've got a very good sort of current affairs. I like watch the news all the time, so you sort of just naturally glean a lot of international information.
OK, we were looking for visiting heads of state from the 21st century. Your second answer, Queen Beatrice. Is that a shot in the dark?
Yeah.
Seems a likely
I'm thinking European monarchs who were likely to visit on official state visits.
I see. OK. Let's see how your second answer, Queen Beatrice of the Netherlands, has done with our 100 people. Is it correct? And if it is correct, is it pointless? Queen Beatrice. Bad luck. That is an incorrect answer. It was a bit of a wild stab in the dark, that one, wasn't it? But,
yeah.
So you never know. That was probably... It was either going to be pointless or the big red cross. Yeah. Sadly, it was the big red cross. You only have one final chance to win today's jackpot. We are looking for 21st century visiting heads of state. You said this was the answer you were most confident with. This has to be pointless for you to win that jackpot of £1,000. It's King Khaled of Saudi Arabia. He is the only person standing between you and that jackpot of £1,000. Let's see if it's a correct answer. And if it is correct, let's see where he ends up. King Khaled. Oh, no! Bad luck, bad luck.
It was an inspired guess. Yeah.
Unfortunately, you didn't manage to find that all-important pointless answer, so I'm afraid you don't win today's jackpot of £1,000, and that rolls over to the next show. But you have been fantastic, and you do get to take home our pointless trophy. So, Richard, what are the answers they should have gone for?
Well, you're absolutely thinking along the right lines, because the King of Saudi Arabia did visit in 2007, but it was King Abdullah. But that was a pointless answer. So if you said King Abdullah, you would have just won the money. Let's have a look at some of the pointless answers. Luis Inácio Lula da Silva of Brazil, that was pointless. Carlo Ciampi of Italy, that was pointless. Hu Jintao of China, who came in 2005, that was a pointless answer. John Kufuor of our old friends Ghana, that was pointless. There's King Abdullah. King Harold V of Norway, there's a few more. Pratibha Patil, who came in 2009 from India, and there's the Queen Margrethe II of Denmark, unfortunately, not of Holland. Queen Beatrix, who you mentioned, Queen Beatrix has not visited since 1982. Come back, Ma'am. You'd be very welcome. And Thabo Mbeki, who came in 2001, obviously from South Africa. So very, very tough luck. And King Khaled, he was once king of Saudi Arabia, but died in 1982. And the last time he came to visit us was in 1981.
OK, well, thanks very much, Richard. So, unfortunately, we do have to say goodbye to you, Steve and David, but it's been great having you on the show. Thank you so much for playing. Thank you. Thanks. So, nobody's won our jackpot today, so it rolls over, which means on the next show we'll be playing for £2,000. Join us next time, see if someone can win it. Meanwhile, it's goodbye from Richard.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.
If you want to be on the next series of Pointless, you can find out more by going to bbc.co.uk/be on a show.